A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus went to the Mount of Olives, but early in the morning he arrived again in the temple area, and all the people started coming to him. And he sat down and taught them. Then the scribes and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in adultery and made her stand in the middle. They said to him, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the very act of committing adultery. Now in the law Moses commanded us to stone such women. So what do you say?" They said this to test him, so that they could have some charge to bring against him. Jesus bent down and began to write on the ground with his finger. But when they continued asking him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again, he bent down and wrote on the ground. And in response, they went away one by one, beginning with the elders. So he was left alone with the woman before him. Then Jesus straightened up and said to her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She replied, "No one, sir." Then Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, do not sin anymore." The Gospel of the Lord. The story of adulterous woman is presented only in the Gospel of St. John. It is a case of a woman caught committing adultery. The accusers are the scribes and the Pharisees, and the judge is Jesus. In this situation, the scribes and the Pharisees attempt to trick Jesus, since if he says, "Do not stone her," they can condemn him for abolishing the law of Moses. If, however, Jesus allows them to stone her, he will contradict his preaching of mercy. The scribes and the Pharisees attempt to entrap the Lord and appear amused because they believe Jesus will not be able to escape for their intrigue. So as not to contravene the law of Moses and his own teachings, Jesus wisely answers, "Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Since no one can claim to be sinless, Jesus had charged those who denounce the woman to look first at themselves. Once the noises, the denunciation subsided, and the accusers withdraw ashamed, God's mercy had won, and the woman escaped death. Because the accusers examine themselves and recognize their sinful identity, they may no longer resent the adulterous woman. Amid a life full of hatred, God will intervene and show his love for us. That love comes from the tolerance of God, who willingly forgives all sinners. By forgetting our sinful past, He opens before us a path to the future. His love will be like the ocean, erasing all our sins. In declaring, "Who is without sin, be the first one who throw a stone at her," Jesus reminds us to look at ourselves before condemning others. No one is perfect. God does not condemn us. He always loves and generously forgives the sins we have committed if we return to Him. St. Paul advises, "Put on then as God's chosen ones, holy, beloved, heartfelt compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If one has a grievance against another, as the Lord has forgiven you, so must you also do. Go and from now on, do not sin anymore." Jesus does not cover for the guilty. However, He saves us from danger while giving us the opportunity to turn away from our sins, to be worthy of God's mercy, as well as the sympathy and compassion from others. He invites us to be practitioners of God's mercy and compassion, and avoid judgment of others. Indeed, Jesus has given us a command that is difficult to follow, for none of us are without sin. If we follow His command, there will be no throwing of stones.